Aloha, it's CreativeNameToStandOut again with another battle report. This time it's a 1250 point campaign game, and it's going to be between my Dark Elves and an opponent's Empire army. So before we go any further, I would like to go over a little bit with the campaign here. Again, if you're interested in the rules that really modify our armies, because if you'll notice, the armies do have a different composition than what is normally allowed, and the territories kind of expand on that. Please go back to the first video of the campaign and you'll get a better clarification of what that's like. But as of right now, here's what the map looks like. The first opponent to get to 11 territories is going to win. So we have the ogres here in the brown. They've got quite a bit of a lead in the territory game here, and so the campaign is getting close to that final bit. And so as far as how it's progressed so far, it's kind of been a little bit of a disappointment for myself right now. And I think that's just due to how the campaign rules are, and I think it's just me having the bad luck of the draw here. What really is going to drive this campaign is repeated games against the same players, because it kind of builds up sort of these campaign points that allow you to bring bigger armies and fight each other. So I've been kind of squandering here in the 1250 trying to get raids on people, but unfortunately no one yet has really tried to raid me, so I haven't been able to really build up that those points with somebody else to have like a bigger battle. And so everybody else kind of has. I think you kind of just end up finding one specific person and you guys kind of fight back and forth and it starts building up. And so you really don't have any incentive to expand beyond those fronts. So I'm thinking, at least on my front, it seems as if the dwarves and the ogres have kind of built that relationship, and then the ogres and I think their orcs above me have kind of built that relationship. And I'm sure to a lesser degree the other factions on the board have built that relationship also, and I just haven't been able to pair myself against somebody. So I have been going around the board just raiding people now, but unfortunately as far as the campaign and winning, it's probably not in my future. But this is another raiding game, and here I go against the Empire. So hopefully you'll enjoy, and let's get to deployment. Alright, so the sound may change. I'm trying to test out what the best sound quality is. But here's deployment, and we have my Cold One Chariot here on the right flank, then followed by my Spearman in the center. I will have my level 2 wandering around in the left flank of my Spearman, not afraid of anything. He doesn't have really a lot of shooting. And then we have another Chariot. Move over here, you can see my Dark Riders, and then some Warlocks. Alright, so here's my opponent's deployment. On the left he has his normal knights, in the center he has his inner circle with all his characters, and then on the right he has his pistoliers. We move into the Vanguard phase, and my opponent moves up the pistoliers. I don't move anything. We roll to see who gets first turn, and I get it. Alright, so we go into Dark Elf turn 1. As you can see here, I'm moving my units like so, and the idea here is to just put my Spearmen in between this little funnel, between the swamps and the fountain. I'm going to hopefully just have each cavalry unit come in through this little tight pass one at a time, and then I'll be able to countercharge with my chariots. So that's the plan, pretty simple. I'm going to swing wide with my other fast cav units. I don't think you'll ever catch them because I'm fast cav and he's not. So here we go into the magic phase, and I'm not in range of Doombolt. Soul Blight's not very helpful right now, so I'm just going to go with Spirit Leech, and I get that off. I'm targeting the champion in one of his knights units, and as you can see here, I easily kill him. Other than that, I do some shooting. I don't think I do any wounds, and this is what it looks like at the end of my turn, going into Empire turn 1. Empire turn 1 is pretty much just a simple advance. He's going to use his lesser knights over here on the flank to keep my fast cav honest. He's moving his inner circle towards the spearmen, and the pistolier is going to take some shots. In the magic phase, he doesn't really have any spells I'm interested in stopping. I mean, I don't really care. So he's going to cast these spells. I'm going to let them off because they're not going to have any impact because we're not getting combat. In the shooting phase, he takes some shots at the pistoliers at the chariot and is unable to do any wounds. Alright, so I have range and I don't really need to charge. I don't need to be too aggressive. I can just shoot them off a little bit, whittle them down. So that's what I do. I just let everything stand still, get some shots off. I move the spearmen up a little bit just to make sure they're a little bit further ahead than the chariots. And I combine the Doomfire Warlocks and the Sorceress into one unit so she doesn't get gunned down by pistoliers. We go in the magic phase, and I'm afraid of the warrior priest because he kind of amplifies those knights. So I try to Spirit Leech him, get it off pretty successfully. Unfortunately, I don't kill him. Otherwise, I do take this shot to the chariot into that knight unit, and I'm able to kill 2. And then this is what the board looks like at the end of my turn, going into Empire turn 2. Alright, so here it comes, the charge I've been waiting for. As long as I can hold here, I'm going to be in a pretty good position to countercharge with those chariots. Otherwise, he also declares a charge with the other regular knights at the Dark Riders, and as you can see here he fails it. It was a pretty long charge. And then finally he moves up his Pistoliers to shoot at my Warlocks. Magic goes pretty well for me. Actually, it's perfect, and my opponent, I guess he kind of misplays this also. He puts 2 dice to every spell pretty much, and that gives me a leg up on the 2 spells that actually matter. And he gets off Soulfire. I think he kills like 2 of my guys in the blast, and we move into shooting. And that's what these guys do. The Pistoliers take aim at my Doomfire Warlocks, and they kill off 2. I do pass my panic check, and we go into combat. So this is the combat. I, at this point, reveal my assassin. And he doesn't, I offer a challenge, but he doesn't take it. Probably a smart move. I'm sorry, nobody offered a challenge. It doesn't matter. We get into combat. I have my assassin on the Grandmaster, and I kill him below the guy. So my assassin dies all the time to pathetic things. He could probably still die in this combat to a pathetic thing, but he really bagged him a big one here. Unfortunately, on the other side, my BSB does not survive the Great Weapon Assault and dies. Otherwise, I don't think I do any wounds to his regular people, and maybe I kill 1, I don't know. But he kills a couple of mine. I lose, I'm steadfast, and I thankfully pass despite not having a BSB. Alright, so here we go into Dark Elf turn 3, and everything's kind of going to plan here. Despite the fact that I got my BSB killed, I probably could have done something to prevent that, but we won't touch on that right now. Thankfully, they still passed their break check, and that's what I was counting on. Now I can countercharge with my Chariots and hopefully get rid of this character bus. But first I got to pass the stupidity checks, and unfortunately the one on the left does not pass, so that's pretty bad. But then the right one also doesn't pass, so that's even worse. So you know, I never fail these things, like maybe once in a blue moon, but it was pretty bad luck here to fail both. But you know, those things happen, and now I'm really going to have to hope that my Spearman can hold up another turn. Otherwise, we go into movement. I bring the Doomfire Warlocks over here to take some shots at the Pistoliers. The Dark Riders move to the flank of these guys just to be a pain in the butt, and we go into magic. In the magic phase, I get a pretty good magic total. I go for Spirit Leech first. I'm trying to kill one of those characters, but it doesn't work. I fail. And then I go with a Doombolt, and that's pretty awesome at the Pistoliers. Unfortunately, the Doombolt was double 1s, and I only actually wounded one of them, so that didn't go great. Alright, so the shooting phase doesn't yield any casualties, and we go straight into combat. My assassin has already consumed the Potion of Strength, so he gets into actually a challenge with the Warrior Priest. And again, my assassin carries it home and kills the Warrior Priest. That's 2 characters in a game. That rarely happens, and that's pretty awesome. Otherwise, we could do the rest of the combat. I don't think I kill but 1 knight, and he kills a bunch in return. And then there comes the ultimate test. Will they be able to hold so I can redeem myself? They don't. So they break, they get run down. Another horrible way for my assassin to die, and he runs into the chariot. Alright, so here is Empire turn 3, and things are looking really bad for the Dark Elves. Let's see what I can do. He moves his Pistoliers over here, though, and gets ready to shoot at my Dark Riders. He goes ahead and shoots them, and obviously wipes them off the board. We go into close combat with the chariot here, and my opponent easily kills the chariot and turns to face, mistakenly thinking he can box in my Doomfire Warlocks. So here's my chariot failing a charge against some fleeing Pistoliers. They were in his arc, but now they're out. And here we go with the Doomfire Warlocks moving to the flank of the Knights. This is where my opponent realizes he's made a mistake. The magic's not too bad. I go for Spirit Leech again and fail horribly, and I then cast Doombolt, and I get the polar opposite of what happened last time. I got double 1s the first time, I get double 6s this time, and I kill quite a few knights, so that's awesome. So I think the Doomfire Warlocks are giving my opponent a hard time, so I think he makes some mistakes here trying to pin them in, which I don't think he can. His Pistoliers move up in a pretty bad position, but he's trying to get him closer to gun down these Doomfire Warlocks. So he makes these moves. They're going to pretty much hurt him later on. And with that, I go ahead and I charge my chariot into his Pistoliers. They're going to get demolished. They do a stand and shoot. They do a wound to my chariot. I take my Doomfire Warlocks and take him over to the other side of the swamp. He's never going to get these points. We jump to the magic phase. It's pretty decent for me. I go with Soul Blight just because I can get it off, and then we go with Doombolt. My opponent tries to stop it, but it gets off, and I do a reasonable amount of wounds. I kill 2 of his knights, I believe. So they're getting down. We go over to the combat. I demolish the Pistoliers, and they're probably never going to rally. My opponent's turn 5 is going to be real short. He's facing the wrong way. He has no shooting. He's not going to rally, and there's no magic. So we go into Dark Elf turn 5. And I'm pretty much just going to declare a charge of the Chariot into these Knights, and I'm going to move my Doomfire Warlocks up there to try to kill off those Pistoliers, just in case they decide not to run off the board. We go into the Magic phase, and it's 11 dice to 6. I'm just going to go for the Doombolt. We go 6 to 6 on it, and I edge them out, and I kill off those Pistoliers. And of course we go here into combat, and I killed the 3 Knights. He's down 4, I believe, or 3. Down 3 on combat res, and he's not able to pass his leadership check, even though he's a BSB and he has that cold-blooded rule. Pretty much, he rolls terribly high. We go into the last turn, and my opponent has the last charge. He takes it into the Chariot. Don't have really much of a chance here. He easily blows it up, and that's pretty much the end of the game. We total up all the points, and it ends up being a tie. So it was a really close game there. Made a couple mistakes. One in particular I'll talk about here. I think I should have brought out my BSB in my second movement phase when I was gearing up for that charge from the Empire. There's really no reason to keep him in the unit, and that way he would have been protected to give them the rerolls. Of course, you know, my opponent probably could have reacted to that by bringing the Pistoliers around to try to shoot him, but I could have put him way back there in the unit, behind the unit, and got the lookouts there. Other than that, things just went a little bit awry there in the beginning when I failed those stupidity checks, but it kind of balanced out there in the end when my Doomfire Warlocks threw that boxcars out there, and then a couple other things went my way later in the game. And then, of course, my opponent made a couple movement mistakes that really helped me get back into this game and make it a tie. So it was a really fun game. Again, I'm making some gold here and there, but no real big territory gains. Unless people start attacking me, I think that's pretty much how it's going to go. Otherwise, I had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do appreciate everyone's likes and comments and subscriptions. And I'd like to thank Mr. Malorian in particular. Unbelievable the amount of people that have subscribed to this channel since being spotlighted by him. So if you are also a channel and Malorian is going to continue to do this, that is a pretty good avenue to increase your subscriptions. Alright then, until next time guys, see you later.